Good morning, everybody. I'm back. I've been kind of gone for a week. I've been looking for an assistant, and I have one, and I'm so happy. Thank you. We are maintaining the 6 feet distancing, so no problem there. Today, I want to tell you all about walking, how to walk. We never learn that in school. All my life, no one ever addressed to me how to walk properly. And I had a question one day about 15 years ago. I was walking from my apartment to my car, and the thought came into my mind, I wonder if I walk correctly. And very shortly after that, I met Dr. Burdenko. He taught me first how to shake, and the very next thing he did after taking a medical synopsis was he checked my walking gait. And I was so impressed because that was what I wanted to know. It turns out I walk very well because I was a fitness instructor and had been in fitness for a long time. But even so, we develop patterns in our walk. Our walk is like a unique signature. That's what he says. Your walk is your signature. Just like your energy is like your currency. Just as unique as your fingerprint. Everybody has a different walk. It's a culmination of all their life experience, accidents, injuries they've had. They learn how to compensate, and they never rehab, often don't rehab those compensations back out of their walking pattern. All kinds of experiences and belief systems, everything is folded in like a layer cake into the way you walk. So if the walking pattern is not healthy, in other words, if the spine isn't supported properly, if the spine can't move properly, if some muscles are over tight, other muscles are unhealthy or not strong, it affects us. So we walk that way for 10, 20, 30 years, and maybe it's 40 years before something shows up in the form of some kind of a trauma. And that's when people come to me because they're in pain, and that's when we work in the water. So backing up, these patterns are completely avoidable. So let's walk a little bit. Good morning. Walking is a pure pleasure. Igor would say walking is a privilege. This is our expression of life. I say life is movement. Movement is life. If we're not moving, we're not living. There's never been a better time to assess and take a deeper dive into looking at how do I walk. And I have the tools for you to do some awareness work and analyze, is my walking serving my body? So you're going to notice in a second, I'm going to start walking backward. We walk forward all of our life. The same motion over and over and over. We sit in front of a computer with our chin sticking out, then we walk in the same manner. You check it out. Look at the people walking on the road right now and just notice how they're walking. Usually the chin is out, the arms aren't moving. Feet might be going out towards the sides. So I'm going to speed up a little bit. So with this pandemic that we're in, everybody's out walking. The streets are practically have more people on them than cars. That's wonderful. It's much more joyous to walk with less noise pollution, less exhaust pollution. But that's eventually going to change again. So I'm going to show you also how to walk in a very limited space. So you can scan along here and show I'm a girl, I don't know how many feet that is. but I'm going to use only this space and walk in different directions and show you how to utilize your space efficiently, how to get a better workout, use more muscles. And so let's begin. So I'm walking. Rule number 1, chin in. Do you realize most people slide the chin forward a little bit so they can see better, they can hear better, they can see the screen better, or they can get somewhere faster? Chin in. Now my cervical spine is aligned. The weight of my head is not sliding forward. Very simple to do. My head belongs over my skeleton, not in front of my skeleton. And when we use our devices a lot, notice where your head is. And that causes a chain reaction. Then the body starts to go like this, the shoulders get rounded. I can correct that easily with the chin in. So notice I'm walking forward and backward. Rule number 2, take a look at your arms. We covered this in the second video. The arm should swing naturally and freely. One arm to the front, one arm to the back, equal distance. Notice if your arms are only in the front. Notice if you move both arms. Notice if you move your arms at all. Some people walk with their arms going to the side, so they're not using their triceps. So when my arms swing equally and my chin is in, my whole upper scapula, clavicle, shoulder area, back and chest are in alignment with my head. It's simple stuff really. It doesn't need to be complicated. So take a look at your arms and ensure you're getting enough extension to the back to get that desperately needed shoulder stretch and chest stretch. In that action, guess what? My triceps activate. Can you see them? Just a little bit. It's not a firm, it's just easy. The arm is relaxed, but full extension. That's a little bit of tricep action. That's why I can be this age and still have great upper arms. It's that habit. I don't have to work on it necessarily, although I do lots of other things too. Step number 3, feet. Feet parallel, hip distance apart. If my feet are not parallel, they will be turned out like this. You notice how people walk with their toes turned out to the neighbors. When that happens, the weight goes behind you, the weight goes into your back, and that's back compression. I feel like I'm going to fall over backward. If my feet are parallel, that requires a lot of work from your lower legs, your ankles. So it's different when I'm going forward. Now look at the difference. When my feet are parallel, see how my weight goes over the front of the foot. And I get this little spring mechanism. So my feet are hip-width apart, parallel to each other. Most of my weight is on the front leg. 70% of the weight on the leg which is in the front. That's easier to feel when you go backward. So I'm going to add in, Dr. Burdenko taught me 4. We've done 3 out of 4 rules. I'm going to add another one in here. You need to pick up your foot. You see, I'm picking up that back foot just a little bit. That helps me get my weight over the front leg. That challenges my balance. I can feel my abdominals already more activated. I want that spinal alignment. I don't want stress on my body. Same in the front. You know what makes people look older than they are is when they don't pick up their feet. So if I don't pick up, I start shuffling. Now I'm looking older. It's a dead giveaway. Remember, posture is your signature. I pick up my foot. I pick up my whole thigh. So I'm using my lower stomach muscles, my hip flexors. I'm using my quadricep to extend the knee. I'm using my shins to land through the heel. Now when I go backward, I pick up. The first thing to touch the ground is the ball of the foot. How many of you can even bend at the ball of the foot? So you must develop this extension in the hip. That requires your glutes to work. And that is the last guideline, is use your glutes. Glutes are located in your butt. We sit on them all day. My friend Paul Chek says we get sensory motor amnesia in our buttocks. The butt forgets how to work. So you can get that back and put that back into your walking easiest by going backward. Okay, so let's review. Shin in. Natural arm swing, and my arm is opposite to the leg which is in the front. That's coordination. Number 3, my feet are parallel. I pick up my legs. I'm not dragging, I'm not shuffling like an old person. And number 5, and in my experience, the most challenging one is use your glutes. You will feel when you use your glutes, you'll also feel your calf muscles. Those two muscles are the muscles that help you with jumping. Jumping is a good thing. We don't do it anymore as we get older because we get stiff and we get afraid. Good morning. Good. And if you get fatigued, if you get overwhelmed, if you want to pause, just shake. Make a noise with your heels. So I'm creating movement from the inside. This is a nice way for the muscles to relax, to get the blood flow going. So that's the 5 biggies for walking. Now we learned how to do that, how to move forward and backward. Now I move sideways. And I just start with simple. My feet are still parallel, but I want you to squat. Pick up the foot. Pick up, squat. That's a whole different deal, isn't it? So if you look at me from the side, I don't stick out my hips. That just means I have tight calf muscles. I actually have to bend at the ankle, I bend at the hip, and I bend at the knee. It's like a Z shape. Okay? So it's going to take me a long time to get to the end, and you will be so surprised at how you feel your muscles differently when you go sideways. Now I can do different things with my arms as well. Maybe a nice easy lateral raise. Arms nice and relaxed. So now I'm just getting my deltoids a little. I could go all the way over my head if I had that range, but start halfway and then just see. We did this action on the ball. I think that was video 3. I could add speed. There's lots of things I can add here. I can add jumping. I don't want to do that yet today. I got a lot of information. Yes, if I'm tired, I shake. what most people do when they're tired, they go like this, and they hunch their shoulders way up. Okay, don't do that. Shake. And smile. Did you know that you relax 250 muscles when you smile? I didn't know that. That's also part of your immune system. Okay, I'm going to go this way, but I'm going to show you a different way to go sideways. Most of you've done this in group fitness classes. It's called a karaoke. My feet are still parallel, and I still go down, up. I cross over in front, I cross over behind. Down and up. And no sticking out your bum. From my sits bones all the way up, my chin is still in. I stay in one vertical column. So again, the flexion is at the ankle, the knee, and the hip. My feet parallel, and you might be surprised that you can't get your foot across without it turning out. So this is a nice lateral stretch for the outer thighs. The arms, for coordination, I touch the opposite side of my pelvis, one hand in front, one hand behind, and it's opposite to the front leg. Just like when we're walking, if my right foot is in front, the left arm will cross over. Yes? Now there's some of you that are going to say, yeah, but I'm not working very hard. Easy to fix that. So I'm going to go fast doing that last exercise. So this is working now on agility, balance, and coordination. And shake. So you want more activity, more endurance, speed. You just speed it up. But make sure your form is correct. Okay. Walk. I'm going to walk on my toes. And backward. You can see how that challenges my calf muscles, challenges my balance. I still pick up my foot. My chin is in. My arms are opposite to front leg. Now I use my glutes when I step backward. Good. Now I'm going to walk on my heels. My toes do not touch the ground. This is much harder for me. Tells me my calf muscles still could do some more stretching. Feel all the feelings here. Notice if your bum sticks out, your chin will go the other way. So I stay vertical. So this is something you'll do once in a while, especially if you have lower leg, ankle challenges. And I do this very infrequently. I'm going to walk on the outside, like John Wayne. And it helps you to figure out your own feet. You normally walk with your weight on the outside edge. Then I'm going to change it and walk on the inside. Which one for you feels more familiar? So we want to be in between those two polarizations. Yes, I'm going to come forward. So that gives me lots of feedback. Now I walk naturally again and I have more information. It's like, wow, I'm getting really intimate with my body. I understand and I feel my feet. My heel lands first. I roll up through the ball of the foot. This is the spring mechanism in the arch of the foot. This is important. Going backward. In that moment where I'm up on the ball of my foot, in that second, the weight comes off of the spine. So with a proper walk, with that spring mechanism built in as a habit, we're actually allowing the back to contract and then release. Look at it again when I go forward. See that little lift? For my assessment, when I walk this way, I'm getting more effective muscular balance than when I walk fast, like a power walk. When we walk fast as a power walk, you gotta make sure the chin is in and that the whole spine stays aligned. Yeah? Last time going backward. Now I'm feeling different already. I'm feeling more extension from the hip. This area here, where my fingers are, these get really tight when we sit a lot. Your hip flexors, they get short. They're strong muscles, and when they're short, they don't allow you to extend the leg. And guess what's on the other side of them? Your glutes. So they have a partnership. I'm going to stop and shake. Now this is kind of the beginning of a whole series of movements we can do. And that's going to be in the next video. For today, we just stay with the walking. So I'm going to show you one more thing. We'll just wait for this car to pass. Okay, so I'm going to go a little faster, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to walk for 5, and I'm going to run for 10. 5 walk, 10 run. 5 walk. So you can create whatever numbers you like. Just make sure one is even and the other one is odd, so you end up starting on the alternate leg each time. Constant stopping and starting prevents momentum. You have to initiate constantly, and then you have to slow down and brake constantly. See, we're masters at cheating. Trust me, I know them all. So the time that you spend outside, in nature, under the sun, skin exposed, working your heart, lungs, whole circulatory system, your bones, your muscles. This is all just amping up your immune system. Very important at times like this. Your body can fight off anything. Focus more on your immunity and less on being afraid. Fear, you can Google this, how fear interrupts the immune system. Fear is debilitating. Fear is usually false evidence appearing real. We make up stories about what's going to happen, and we're not trusting the present moment. So in this moment, all is well. So I'm just doing a little cool down. reconnecting the joy of moving my body with intelligence, with awareness, with love. Walking is a form of love. Let's leave it there. Have a lovely day.